YouTube says it has had enough of vaccine misinformation on its site.
And false stories from phony sites to run circles around major news outlets.
Many people don't know the difference between something real and something created to deceive them.
Open your eyes.
If you've ever had this feeling that something was terribly wrong with the world that we live in, but you couldn't figure out just what it was, then you've come to the right place. Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati have been controlling our reality since the beginning of time. But not anymore, because there is an awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this is a call for an uprising.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. I was going to do this video on the website, but I decided I'll do it here on YouTube. And again, I have to warn everybody out there, this channel is going to be gone. I've done these warnings so many times over. I know it sounds repetitive for those of you that are constantly following my new channels, but a lot of you don't end up clicking and you just let it go through one ear and the other, out the other. And then people end up finding my channel somehow and they're like, is this your real channel? Is this really you? Where did you go? Where are your big... Because they're constantly removing me. So for those of you that don't know the story and don't follow consistently, I don't blame you. But my channel's got nuked all over the place. So I highly recommend now, before we continue, for you this ridiculousness that's being blasted on national television, again, about making Christians into the Taliban, please make sure you subscribe to my other channel, link below now. And for those of you who haven't joined the website, it's $2.99 a month, it's troll-free, it's ad-free. You will get more in 1 hour on the website that's worth $2.99 a month, from exclusive videos, uncensored videos, to the forum itself where you can learn and share things yourself with other people. You can share your channels, you can share videos from BitChute, Rumble, wherever else. It's really informative. And again, the $2.99 helps maintain the website. It also keeps the trolls out, because if it was a free site, the place would be littered with people uploading pictures of their junk probably, because there's so many trolls that have followed my channels, and have nuked them, and they're the ones responsible for me constantly having to rebuild. So if you could join, I highly recommend you do. I have a video up about the bird flu now being caught by cats. Cats are catching and dying from the bird flu. I've been talking about it for almost a year, and specifically the last couple of months, how they are desperately trying to get something inside of the animals as well as your body. So from animal to you. And it's very important you check that video out and the videos on the website. Again, lots of agendas going on. Content that will be censored here. So make sure you do that. And if you don't want to join the website, just go over there and click where it says free videos and put your email in one time. You don't have to do it 50 times. That way you can keep up with me when this channel is gone, my next one's gone. You'll get emails letting you know where I am if you like this content. So let's get into this story. The View obviously is just nothing but human. Well, I don't even know if they're human. Let's just say it's 5 cancerous things talking on a studio set, of course, pushing communist propaganda. They could say whatever they want. If this was the other way around, of course, we'd be thrown into a jail cell as Christians. But now we have a thing showing up on The View that goes by the name of Patty LaPoop, a papoon. And of course, I mean, Patty, I guess that's a gender-neutral name because there's no way this is a chick. But Patty LaPoon lets everybody know that she said it once, she said it before, that she doesn't see the difference between the Christian right and the Taliban. That's right, the Christian right and the Taliban. Now I'd say to Patty LaPoon, why don't you go live with the Taliban for a few months and then you'll see the difference, because the Taliban will probably have you hung instantly on the spot just for the fact that you're trans. But in reality, this is the type of extremism that this communist liberal world order, which is the liberal world order, which we heard Biden and all them say, the new world order is the communist world order. And these commies have to destroy Christianity. So they're trying to portray Christians as extremists. Now, Christians haven't done anything compared to the Taliban. People aren't being executed by Christians. In fact, Christians, for the most part, say to trans and the LGBT, it's just, you know, live your life or whatever. But it's not about living their life. It's about a sickness. It's about getting into schools. It's about pushing it down everyone's throats. It's about showing up in your local cities, wearing thongs, marching in your streets. It's just a perverse, sickening thing that's being displayed. But take a listen to Patty LaPoop talk about the Christian right being no different than the Taliban.
3 times higher. DeSantis and the LGBTQ.
Well, that's extremely upsetting.
Yeah.
That is extremely upsetting. These are human beings.
Yeah.
And I could cry. They're not harming anybody.
No.
No.
I don't know why he's doing this. I don't know. I mean, you know, and I've said this before, and I'm going to get in trouble. But I have said this before, and it's been in print. I don't know what the difference between our Christian right and the Taliban is. I have no idea what the difference is.
You're not the only person who's said that.
I just don't know what the difference is.
Yeah.
What's happening in this country right now in the name of religion is so dangerous.
Yeah.
And it's not this country. It's not America as far as... And you know, when I was growing up, I didn't know America was an experiment. They never said America was an experiment. When we were growing up, it was a democracy. And now it's in, you know, such danger. It's so upsetting.
Yeah.
It's so upsetting. And it's upsetting to hear the loudest voices and not any kind of pushback to the loudest voices that are the extremity in this country.
Well, that's why we need people like you that speak out.
I'm on the other side. They need someone in the middle.
Let me ask you about
So these people are psychopaths. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. But we know what they're doing. If we take ourselves out emotionally from what they're doing, this is just brainwashing of the masses to get them to start. And this is what they've been doing the last couple of years, getting them to look at Christians as extremists. Because Christians don't want men dressing as women to show up in libraries talking to children who are easily influenced and who don't understand what's going on because they don't understand sex and they don't understand why a guy's dressed as a woman. They actually think it's a joke. And if you go back to comedy and even as late as the early 2000s, men cross-dressing, dressing as women was a common thing in movies, and people would go to the movies and laugh at it, like when the Wayans dressed as women, or, and not that they're really funny movies, but people, the concept was that somebody who cross-dressed, it was embarrassing and you made fun of it, right? Well, now, of course, if you do that, you'll get fined, go to jail, and, you know, anything else that countries like Canada are trying to push. So this isn't the first time The View has tried to do this. In fact, let's listen to a clip from Joy Behar, who openly talked about people who speak or who hear the voice of Christ are suffering from mental illness.
I think what was interesting is that she said that Jesus tells Mike Pence things to say.
When was she around Mike Pence, though?
Well, obviously she was around him because she knows more, a lot more than I think that we all know about Mike Pence. But what I do know about Mike Pence is I went to law school in Indiana. He is a hated figure there, actually. He's not very popular at all. And I think when you have a Mike Pence that now sort of puts this religious veneer on things and calls people values voters, I think we're in a dangerous situation. Look, I'm Catholic, I'm a faithful person, but I don't know that I want my vice president you know, speaking in tongues and having Jesus speak
like
to
I
him.
said before,
I don't know if I want that.
It's one thing to talk to Jesus. It's another thing when Jesus talks to you.
Exactly. Okay, well, that's different. That's different.
That's called mental illness, if I'm not correct.
But I think,
hearing voices.
You know.
Right, so this is an orchestrated assault on Christianity, and people still don't see it. And if you're an atheist or you don't believe in Christianity, well, it's time to pick up your Bible, because this is all prophesized. They aren't reading the Bible, following the script of the Bible, because the majority of Christians don't even know anything in the Bible other than the positivity stuff, the Psalms, the Beatitudes. That's all they take out of the Bible. They might read the Bible, they might go to church and daydream, but all they take is the positivity. So then these lukewarm Christians start accepting the LGBT. Their kids turn gay. They're like, this is normal. Oh, you know, Jesus died for our sins, so everything in the Old Testament doesn't matter anymore. They just make up whatever they want to fit into society to be politically correct, instead of following God's laws, instead of realizing that children need parents, and parents are the ones who are responsible for how these children turn out. Unfortunately, in today's world, the school system and the media are becoming the ones responsible for how the kids turn out because the parents are too distracted themselves to raise their children. Thus, we have this problem where 5-year-olds want to switch genders, and then they talk on television about Christians having, what they call mental illness because they speak to Christ, when in reality, the real mental illness are people who are cutting off their penises. That's right. You got a ball sack? Well, you're thinking about cutting it off. That would be a mental illness, by definition. If you ask any other people from any other time period, not only would this not be acceptable, they would say that that would be the definition of a mental illness. And they would have them jailed or put somewhere and try to get them rehabilitated because something's clearly mentally wrong. But they're convincing these very easily influenced children out there and teens, these vulnerable people. And of course, remember, part of the Communist Manifesto is to weaken these people, to weaken men, and then empower women and influence women. And then you have these suburban moms who run around pushing the liberal ideologies. They have no idea what they're doing or what they're saying. They live in some type of alternate reality where they think that women are so oppressed and have no rights, and black people have no rights, and gay people have no rights, and Christians have all the rights. Meanwhile, we're all the ones who are getting suppressed. We're all the ones losing freedom of speech. We're the ones who are getting bashed all over the media. We're the ones who they want to kill in this country at this point. They're the ones who are saying, hey, you know what? We need to get rid of religion. We need to get rid of Christianity. We need to promote the Satanic Temple. And again, that's a video I have on the website where the Satanic Temple and the ACLU is actually defending them and suing the school district in Pennsylvania because it's violating the Satanist freedom of speech. Yeah, that's a video on the website. The Satanist freedom of speech is under violation. They feel like their First Amendment's being taken away. That's how insane and inverted this is. But we know if you follow the satanic teachings, the stuff I've exposed over the years, everything is inverted, right? They read the Bible backwards, literally. So everything's inverted. And now we're living in a reality where everything's inverted. Everything they're saying is the opposite of truth. Everything we're seeing being promoted is the opposite of what God would want. This is all forbidden stuff that they're doing and promoting and influencing kids that it's a normal thing. You're born this way. You're born like that. Huh? Never before was that ever a thing until the last 20 years or so, since Ellen came out on her horrible sitcom show, did we start talking about being born a certain way. And Lady Gaga promoting with garbage songs. Nobody even knows what way Lady Gaga was born. Probably with both things, like the Baphomet, because it looks like the Baphomet. That's why we call her Lady Barfbag. But anyway, this is the type of propaganda you will continue to hear. Because I've been talking about this, and when my channels got nuked, this was the main topic I was discussing at the time, was this massive Christian persecution. And this is biblical. This is prophecy, that we will be persecuted for God, for the sake of Christ and his word. John chapter 15, verses 19 through 20. If you were of the world would love you as its own. But because you are not of the world, but I chose you out of the world, therefore the world hates you. Remember the word that I said to you. A servant is not greater than his master. If they persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they keep my word, they will also keep yours. Right? Other verses, Matthew chapter 5, verse 10 through 12. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when others revile you and persecute you and utter all kinds of evil against you falsely on my account. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward is great in heaven, for so they persecuted the prophets who were before you. And there's many other verses to talk about, but a lot of Christians ignore it. They don't want to be persecuted because part of what's happening in our society is Christians and people in general are just being weakened to death. They're being bludgeoned. They're becoming weaker and softer and more emotional. This is all part of all the stuff you see on TV. Oh, emotion. Oh, let's cry. Somebody called you a wrong name. Oh my gosh, take a Xanax because you're so upset and it hurt your feelings. This is what they're doing on purpose. So Christians aren't standing up, realizing we're going to be persecuted. And the only thing we could do is be proud of the fact that we are saved through the blood of Jesus Christ and be proud for our King and rejoice in that and rejoice in the persecution that is coming, for our reward will be great in heaven. But most Christians don't. Instead, they go, oh, we'll accept all this crap. God is love, God is love, God is love. Yes, God is love and God is mercy. But God does not say, then promote sin everywhere. And they go, well, hate the sin, love the sinner. It's another lukewarm quote we always hear shoved down our throats. No thanks. No thank you. Or, oh, you know, he's called for a number and is really angry. You know, why isn't he praying for these people? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not up at night praying for Satan. So all these people in Hollywood who know of God and know of the devil and chose to worship Satan, I'm not going to sit there and say, I'm going to pray for Jack Black tonight. I'm going to pray for the lost is what I'm going to pray for. And you might say, well, Jack Black is lost. Well, Jack Black knows exactly what he's doing, but most of these other people out there don't because they're under mind control, especially the young kids. And they're the ones who need our prayers. I'm not praying for the devil. I'm not praying for, I'm not living by the notion of love the sinner, hate the sin. Oh, okay. And then let's let the trans into the libraries. Let's let them go hang out in our home. You know, I mean, videos I've done on the website talking about, again, owning no private property. This has everything to do with this agenda of getting all of this perversion into your home. Because they're going to say, oh, a Christian family lives here and they're not teaching their kid about gender neutrality and pronouns. Oh, well, let's bring in a local tranny and let him come into the house. And you have to let him in because there's no private property anymore. And in fact, he could come in and eat out of your fridge. Remember, you'll own nothing and be happy? Yeah, that's a communist quote. It's Marxism. Owning nothing, no private property. Nobody connects the dots on any of this stuff because all they do is get distracted by the garbage of shows like The View. Oh, the Taliban and Christians, and I don't see any difference. Oh no, I don't see Christians running the streets with guns shooting people who disagree. In fact, Christians allow people who have different religious views to live amongst us, but it gets to a point where you're saying, oh, well, you know what? We're going to have people teach our kids about Satanism. And they're like, oh, well, why can't they teach about Satanism? Oh, I don't know, because they commit human sacrifice. How about that? Oh, because you tell us that they don't, we're supposed to believe it. Oh, we're supposed to let our kids learn about witchcraft too, because every Disney movie and every show out there promotes it. Oh, we're supposed to let men that dress up as women who have rap sheets longer than Al Capone, who obviously have some type of interest in children and do this for attention, we're supposed to let them into our schools because it's a nice and right thing to do. No, but then they compare that to the Taliban. That's how sick and twisted these commies are. And they're running out of time because our king is coming soon. And most Christians are not going to put up with this bullcrap. They're just not. And I know I'm not. I'm not living in a reality like this with these freaks like this Patty LeBoon comparing to the Taliban. Should be thrown off television for saying something like that. Where are the Christians fighting back? Where are these main ministries that don't get censored that just preach prosperity like Joel Osteen? Where they say, oh, I don't agree with that. That doesn't seem nice. But she's allowed to have her viewpoint. Yeah, they're allowed to have their viewpoint until what point? Until the people start arming themselves against Christians or the military starts arming itself against Christians? Because remember, if they're comparing Christians to the Taliban, well, didn't we send a military over there to fight the Taliban? Oh, right. So what is she saying? Send the military to fight people with Christian viewpoints because they don't want guys who cut off their wangs and dress as women to come into schools to talk to kids? Yeah, that's really extreme. No, it's called sanity. It's called sanity. But they'll tell you, again, that the sane are insane because they're telling the insane that they're sane. That's how inverted this is. A reminder again, please sub to my other channels. This video is probably going to get a strike. Or the channel is going to be removed in general. I'm running out of time, so if you haven't subbed yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. Please sub now, and also join the website. At least sign up for the free videos over there. I thank everyone for being here. Unbelievable, folks. God bless all of you and your families.